Hello everyone, my name is Asyrafchazz and welcome back to yet another One Piece card game video, and they have officially revealed the last two leaders for the OP-04 set, and it's none other than Queen and Isho or Fujitora. Sadly, there's no Miss All Sunday or Sabo leader, but we're just gonna move on from that. Now with the reveal of the last two leaders, we're gonna talk about every single leader coming to OP-04 in this video, so we're gonna go through every single one of them and their effects and their colors. So in OP-04, if you didn't know, there's only 6 leaders in this set, and all of them are multicolored leaders, and all of them have really interesting effects. I'm really excited to talk about all of the leaders and their effects. So if you've already seen all of the earlier reveals so far, I'm going to leave a timestamp below to just jump straight to the last two leaders, but we're going to go through every single leader in this video. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Alright, the first leader was none other than Nefertari Vivi. It's Vivi as a leader. It's a 5000 power leader, but with 5 life. So it is a multicolored leader, but with 5 life because of her other ability. This leader cannot attack. It's a blue and red leader that cannot attack, part of the Alabasta Kingdom. Now Vivi's ability is that this leader cannot attack, and her other ability is activate main once per turn. You may pay 2 Dawn, draw a card, and up to one of your characters gain rush during this turn. This is an extremely strong leader. I think it's gonna lead to a very explosive endgame because every single card in your hand that doesn't have rush can get rush. And even though the leader cannot attack, it's still very strong on its own. You are starting with 5 life. You do have that kind of extra life to kind of keep you going. And there's a new reveal for the 8 cost Luffy with Banish that fits perfectly in Vivi decks because you can just drop 8 cost Luffy that have Vanish with 9000 power. You pay 2 Dawn, you draw a card, and you give it rush. So it's a rush banish, perfect for the late game and attacking really hard. So it's really quite cool. So Vivi, an interesting leader on its own. Even if you don't give something rush, even on your turn 2 Dawn that you're not playing anything, you can still use the ability to draw a card. I think it's a really strong leader, even though it cannot attack. So your opponent can kind of get a little bit of advantage on the board that way because you can't attack into their characters. Giving stuff rush would be really good. You can pair it with on attack abilities like Nico Robin. And because you have access to blue, you can even play like the higher top ends like even Dracul Mihawk. Though you cannot give it rush because Mihawk is a 9 cost, it's still like you have access to those colors. So Vivi, red and blue, very interesting. Let's move on to the next leader. So the next one is Rebecca. Rebecca is a blue and a black leader. Same thing, 5000 power with 5 life because this leader cannot attack. But Rebecca's ability is activate main once per turn. You may pay 1 Dawn. If you have 6 or less cards in your hand, look at the 2 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Dressrosa type card and add it to your hand. Then trash the rest. So Rebecca is essentially a mini searcher because you are looking at the top 2 cards of your deck for 1 Dressrosa type cards, and you're going to play a Dressrosa type deck with Rebecca, and then you can add the card to your hand. Essentially pay 1, draw 1 if you have 6 or less cards in your hand. And the secondary ability, the caveat of trashing the rest of the cards, meaning you're trashing 1 card, is actually really useful because it pairs with one of the other cards that we've seen before, which is the 7 cost Monkey D. Luffy that's coming to OP-04, the super rare, that requires you to return 7 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck to set this character as active. So I believe that Dressrosa cards will kind of like utilize the trash as sort of like a payment for the cost of the effects or a secondary resource. So Rebecca kind of fits perfectly into that. And with the color pairing of blue and black, you have access to a wide card pool. I think blue and black players, are really quite excited because now you can reduce certain costs of cards. Like for example, from 8 to 7, right? And then you can drop a Dracul Mihawk, return it back to the bottom of the deck. I think it's going to be really strong. I'm interested to see what people have plans for Rebecca, but until we get to see more Dressrosa type cards that kind of fit into Rebecca's strategy, maybe an additional big searcher like 5 cards, I think Rebecca is pretty good. It does start with 5 life, so you do have a little bit of leeway in terms of like setting up your board or whatever. And at the late game, essentially you can draw 1 with only 1 Dawn. So I think that's pretty good. Excited to see what people make with Rebecca once OP-04 comes out. Now let's move on to the next few leaders. Alright, the next leader is Crocodile. So these next 2 leaders are the big bads of the set. It's none other than Crocodile and Doflamingo. But Crocodile, let's talk about it first. It's a purple yellow leader. That's pretty cool. It has 5000 power but with 4 life because this leader can attack. And his ability is on your opponent's turn once per turn. When you return Dawn from your field to the Dawn deck through one of your effects, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. this is an extremely strong card. I can really see that people making it work. It's a really cool card because you can essentially, with the previous reveal of that Miss All Sunday, essentially when you return, you know, Dawn minus something, you can also get Dawn back, but it's only on your opponent's turn. So you know, cards like counters with minus Dawn abilities such as Blast Breath works really perfectly with Crocodile because you can get the Dawn back. I've kind of gone in depth about these first 4 leaders. So if you want to see the videos about them specifically, I've left the links to in the description below. But Crocodile is really cool. I'm excited to see how purple works with yellow. Jam some 7-cost Big Mom in this deck. King can be in this deck as well, but I'm pretty excited to see what the new Baroque Works engine will be in these colors. Maybe Baroque Works will be in yellow this time instead of in blue. So that's something really cool. Also, there was a new Crocodile super rare that's been revealed. Just going to briefly touch about it. I'm going to make another video talking about these that super rare alongside Doflamingo, which I have not talked about, which is on play if your leader types include Baroque Works. Place up to 1 card from the top of your deck on top of your life. So purple gets recovery as well, and it's perfect in this deck. And his secondary ability actually really works well with this Crocodile's ability because on your opponent's attack, once per turn, Dawn -1. Draw 1 card and trash 1 card in your hand. So you get to loot, you get to draw 1, discard 1, and the Dawn -1, you can get it back with Crocodile's ability, the leader Crocodile's ability. So that's really good. That's really, really good. All right, next up, we got Doflamingo, Don Quixote Doflamingo himself in green and purple. That's really cool. 5,000 power with 4 life because this leader can attack. I'm just going to skip that moving forward. And his ability is at the end of your turn, set up to 2 of your Dawns as active. Really, really good effect on a leader. It's essentially just leaving 2 Dawns as active at the end of your turn for counters, event counters or whatever, or using that for, like, you know, some of the other characters' ability, which we'll probably have for some other cards that have been revealed, but I won't touch about that. And also access to, like, purple. Purple has a lot of really strong event cards that you want to leave up. Green has a lot of strong event cards that you want to leave Dawn up for as well. So it's really, really cool. Man, I'm excited for Doflamingo, and these effects are actually really quite strong. Even though they are multicolored leaders which start with a lower life count, I think the effects kind of make up for it. I think this is a really powerful effect, especially on Doflamingo, as it should. And you can play a really defensive build and then just overwhelm your opponent with your event counters, or like the other big super rare that's been revealed, which is essentially a Birdcage 10-cost Doflamingo super rare, which we will talk about in a separate video. Don't worry about that. That essentially just locks down your opponent's board, and you are leaving 2 Dawn up as active so that you can kind of defend against the characters that can attack. I think the green purple combination, it's really interesting, and Doflamingo is gonna be one of those leaders that people can build around or play anything they like essentially, and it's gonna be really, really good. So Doflamingo is gonna be something to look out in the OP-04 metagame for sure. Alright, now we're jumping into the 2 new leaders that's been revealed. First one is none other than Isho. It's a green and a black leader. 5,000 power with 4 life, part of the Marines or Navy. And oh my god, this leader's ability is insane. Okay, the first one, Dawn 1, that means you put 1 Dawn on Isho, give -1 cost to all of your opponent's characters. That alone, honestly, it's pretty good. It's a global effect for black on your opponent's characters, giving everything -1, which, you know, black loves to do. And, you know, it's gonna help you with, like, removing certain threats that really need to -1. And it's all of your opponent's characters, so that's, you know, you don't have to single target anymore. It affects everything. You can pair it with the super rare Isho from OP-03, and then you put another on him. That's everything's -4 with these 2 on abilities active. That's really, really good for black. But his secondary ability is at the end of your turn, pay 1, set up to 1 of your characters with a cost of 5 or less as active. Now, this is actually a really strong ability because, okay, the first thing that comes to my mind is the 5-cost Trafalgar Law blocker from OP-01, where, you know, usually green doesn't like to attack with this particular law unless they're going for game, because it's a good blocker. It's a good way to kind of prevent your opponents from attacking cleanly, because you can block and you can counter with it. This way, those Trafalgar Laws blockers turn into potential attackers, right? And as long as you pay 1 at the end of your turn, you get it back as active. I think there's a lot of things that you can do with his ability. There's a lot of targets. Like, people have been talking about it. I have not kind of like gone in depth with what I'm gonna build with green and black, but I really, really like the color combination first and foremost, and the ability on this leader. I think Isho is something that is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I think green and black players rejoice. This is a leader that you can finally use with these two color combinations. It's really cool. I really like this leader. Can't wait to see like decks being built around this ability. I think it's really, really cool. All right, and the last leader that's been revealed, it's Queen. I mean, this slot should have been to literally anything else, but okay, we'll take it. It's Queen. And there's been cards that have been revealed that references a Animal Kingdom Pirates leader in blue. Now you can use it with Queen. So Queen is a blue and yellow leader. That's pretty cool. 5000 power, 4 life, and has the sub-trait of Animal Kingdom Pirates. And Queen's ability is Dawn 1 when attacking, and this is a bit confusing, so bear with me. If the total number of cards in your life and hand is 4 or less, draw 1 card. If you have a character with a cost of 8 or more, you may place up to 1 card from the top of your deck on top of your life instead of drawing 1 card. Okay, let's break down the ability a little bit. So first of all, put 1 Dawn on Queen and attack with Queen. Then you check whether the total number of cards in your life and hand is 4 or less. So for example, you have 3 cards in your life, 1 card in hand, or vice versa, 1 card in your life, 3 cards in hand. And then if this ability is satisfied, you draw 1 card. And then if you have no other characters on the field or whatever that doesn't satisfy the second condition of the ability, you just draw a card. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Then the second part is, then if you control a character with a cost of 8 or more, then instead of drawing the card, you actually recover 1 life. You put the top card of your deck to the top card of your life instead. So it's a little bit confusing because there's a lot of conditions between like the first part of the ability and the second part of the ability. But essentially, Dawn 1 when attacking, if the total number of cards in your life and hand is 4 or less, then the ability, like the condition is fulfilled. Then you check again. If you have character with a cost of 8 or more, you can recover 1 instead of drawing 1. Straightforward. Okay. Takes a while to get used to. It's Queen. It's gonna be complicated. But I can really see this leader kind of taking like its strength in the absolute late game, because even if you don't have a character with a cost of 8 or more, that ability to just draw 1 card when attacking, as long as you satisfy those conditions, it's actually really good. And you can, I mean, imagine like Queen versus a black yellow Big Mom. Both of them want to be at a low life count, and then like it's gonna be a long drawn out battle because both leaders can potentially recover life per turn. As long as the condition of their ability is fulfilled, then it's gonna turn into a really, really grindy battle instead. Now, I think there's going to be quite a lot of support for the Animal Kingdom Pirates in blue this time, because there was a Queen and also a Black Maria card that was revealed. I'm not going to talk about them in depth. I'm going to save them for maybe if we get more Animal Kingdom Pirates cards revealed, and we're going to do like a consolidated video about that. But as of now, yeah, yes, there is support for Animal Kingdom Pirates in blue. So this is what they're going to do. They're going to, so we have like the main Alabasta, we got the main Dressrosa, and they're going to sprinkle it a little bit of Animal Kingdom Pirates. I think that's pretty cool. You know, they have to kind of fill up the set somehow. And Queen is a very interesting leader as well, because it's blue and yellow. Like, we have to see how well these two colors mesh with together. I mean, you know, yellow has a lot of cards that are really, really powerful with like multiple triggers and all of that. Though they work well with like a Big Mom Pirates package, I'm excited to see what other Animal Kingdom Pirates in blue coming to OP-04, especially that Queen card that was revealed, because it's a 4-cost searcher that can search up for Plague Rounds and Ice Oni, which are cards that have not been revealed yet. So, you know, it's going to be very interesting, and I hope that it plays really well with Queen's ability, you know, kind of maybe like holding on, or like making sure that your hand and life is at a certain number to it to fulfill Queen's ability. It's cool. I think this leader is going to be one that we need to see more cards of, and before we can kind of really know how powerful this leader can be. Instead of like something like Isho, which you take a look at the ability, you're like, yeah, this card is really, really quite strong. But Queen, I'm excited to see more cards revealed, either in blue or either in yellow. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but it's great, man. I think like all these multicolored leaders have very unique abilities that I love to see in this game. It kind of broadens the deck building aspect, and you know, the playability of the game. We're not kind of shoehorned into like the monocolored leaders. As we get access to a wider card pool, you kind of want to mix and match the best of like 2 certain colors. So this is a great start. I cannot wait to see what other interesting cards that OP-04 brings to us in all of these really weird color combinations, blue and yellow, green and black, I mean blue and red, so many interesting combinations right here. I love it so much. So there you go, every single leader coming to OP-04. I think this set is going to be interesting to say the least. I think the abilities of all of the leaders are uniquely new and seems to be fun. I'm curious to see how the metagame shifts from like away from like monocolored leaders maybe, and everyone's playing like more multicolored stuff. I think maybe that's what the game wants to go for, so you get a little wider access to different colors in the card pool itself, and you know, it leads to more interesting deck building possibilities, right? So there you go. Let me know which leader from OP-04 is your favorite. I think, I mean, I'm favored towards the yellow. So the Crocodile, it's kind of like an interesting leader for me. I'm really excited about Vivi. I know Vivi cannot attack as a leader, and you know, but giving things rush, that's so cool. I mean, it's Vivi. You gotta play Vivi. But yeah, let me know which leader you really like in the comment section below. I'm excited to hear like what the community thinks about all of these new leaders. Dope. I'm really excited. I think the alternate art treatments for these leaders are gonna follow in the same route as OP-03, which, you know, I know some people may not like them. I would have loved to see like all the zoomed in faces for these leaders. I mean, like, imagine a zoomed in face of Vivi, or even like you know, Crocodile again, and Doflamingo. Can you imagine a queen leader that's just zoomed in face? I hope they kind of go back to it one day. But either way, these leaders are really cool. We're gonna talk about these super rares, Crocodile and Doflamingo, in another video. I'm sorry I haven't been posting recently. We just got Mega Man Battle Network, so I've been playing that a lot and taking a little break from YouTube. But I expect more videos to come through the channel real soon. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Excited for OP-04. See you guys in the next one. Peace.